They're Britain's youngest mums.
Lizzie! Behave!
I wouldn't wish to be a teenage mother on anybody.
Their children face an uncertain and daunting future.
People would stare at you as if you were like an animal.
Now, 6 teenage mothers are being given one chance to transform their lives.
I'm not talking to you like a baby. What I'm saying to you is he will learn through you.
This isn't easy, this is really hard.
They have 2 weeks to learn the basics of childcare and the harsh realities of parenting.
It's excuse after excuse after excuse.
That's how he's been with me his entire life.
And some home truths.
You want to act like a spoilt child, that's fine.
Fuck off!
This is reality, and you're going to have a wake-up call.
Intense, challenging, and emotional. Can these girls turn their lives around and change their children's futures?
It does really actually feel like a miracle.
Well done and congratulations, you've come a long way.
When I first had sex, I was 13, and that was through peer pressure.
I used a condom once and it split, so I never used them after that.
A lot of my friends were having sex, and most of them who were found out they was pregnant as well.
This house in the Lincolnshire countryside is the location for a bold and innovative challenge.
All right, Ashley. Oh, he's beautiful. You're not
Over the next 2 weeks, 6 teenage mums will be given parenting lessons and around-the-clock supervision by expert nanny Susie Whytock and her assistant Melissa Goff.
Hello, little one.
I look at teenage mums and I just think, you know, physically they can give birth, but mentally they are not ready.
They'll also be given emotional support by psychotherapist Rachel Morris.
Pleased to meet you. If you come in, we'll show you around the house and get you settled.
They know that they're going to come here and they're going to learn some tips about how to bring up their kids. What they're not expecting is the psychological meetings that we're going to be having. They're going to be very emotional and they're going to be very challenging, and I think they're going to find them quite difficult to handle.
Oh, Tyler. Look. Look.
The girls are aged between 14 and 17, and all are struggling with the demands of parenthood so young.
Come on! Lizzie, you're not going to make this easy, are you?
For most of them, it's the first time they've been away from friends and family.
Looks like something out of Harry Potter.
I hate these gates, they're well thin. I'm too fat to fit through them. Anyway, I better have a nice room, otherwise I'm going home again. My name is Zoe, I'm 15 and I'm from Gillingham. Come on, silly monkey.
At 12 years of age, Zoe was already out of control.
Zoe's behaviour was quite volatile. And once she started secondary school, it was like the gates opening and my life became intolerable.
It reached breaking point when, aged 13, Zoe threatened to kill her mum.
I called the police and she was arrested. And I refused to go and pick her up from the police station and told her that they needed to take her into care and give me a break.
In care, Zoe was diagnosed as having ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, with Asperger's.
I know it sounds silly, you know, like you hear people turn to drugs to block out pain and drink and that. Well, I felt that my mum didn't love me. I mean, I know she did, but it just felt like she didn't. So I turned to sex because it made me feel like I was loved. I was at a friend's house and I wanted to piss some boy off and I slept with someone. I know that sounds childish, but at the end of the day, I was a child and I was childish.
Zoe was pregnant from this one-night stand, but the 19-year-old boy denied Courtney was his and has had no contact with them since.
I regret sleeping with him, but I don't, because I got Courtney out of it. Because, like I said, I wanted someone to love me more than anyone in the world and have someone to love back, and now I've got that. Well, then go to your bedroom.
As the teen mums settle in, they're unaware that Rachel, Susie and Melissa will be observing their parenting skills recorded on camera. It's the girls' first test.
What do you think about Kerry? Do you think she's a confident mum with the baby?
She's
oh,
not
look,
sure.
she didn't even wipe the milk off the
this
baby's
is what I'm
mouth.
saying, the confidence, she lacks the knowledge of how to care for the baby.
They'll be monitoring the girls' routines closely and seeing how they interact with their children.
Anyway, I've been saying for about an hour that I'm going to give my baby a bath.
And you still haven't done it?
No, I can't be bothered.
At her core, she loves that little girl, and I think that she wants to be a good mum. I just don't think that she can put herself to one side long enough to actually have a go at it.
They said that's white chocolate they like. Come here, darling, look, you can have mummy's chocolate with her. I'm going to take my baby.
Zoe's obviously feeding her chocolate. I wonder what else she's feeding her.
Zoe's daughter, Courtney, weighs almost 25 pounds. That's 5 pounds more than the average 13-month-old.
Get their nutrition right, get their meals right, and then as a treat she can have a bit of chocolate. But what concerns me is this chocolate her feed time?
In fact, Courtney's given crisps, biscuits and chocolate throughout the day.
Right, you.
Susie's also concerned about basic child safety and has picked up on 16-year-old mother of two, Amy.
What does worry me a bit is the way she's leaving the baby on the bed, right on the end, on that corner. And I notice all the bags in the middle of the bed. What I want to see is the bags on the floor and the baby in the middle of the bed. This is my main concern, is that she's leaving her in dangerous situations.
Tyler's crying. Where's Ashley?
Actually, she's outside having a cigarette.
She's a smoker.
She's also 4.5 months pregnant.
I mean, if she was blowing smoke straight into a baby's face, then we wouldn't allow that. And yet somehow we overlook the fact that women can smoke while they're pregnant. But it's not on. It's really just not on.
The way people are always saying use contraception, it always works when you don't want to get pregnant. I can actually say that it doesn't always work. Because I've got a little boy to prove it.
Ashley was sexually active when she was 13, had a miscarriage at 15 and gave birth to Tyler at 16. The news was no surprise to her mother, Jill.
I had my first child when I was 15, so I was sort of expecting at least one of my children to have children early. It's one of those things. Happens.
Oh, come on.
Tyler's 17-year-old father has no contact with his son.
It's so much hard work. Sleepless nights, dirty nappies, food getting everywhere. He'll just scream at you because he can't reach a toy that he's just thrown away. I think he is quite lazy. He does nothing but sit there and scream for attention.
At 17, Ashley's now pregnant again, but she's already split up from the new baby's father.
Since I found out that I'm expecting another baby, I've been really stressing about how things are going to be. I don't know how I'm going to cope then, but I'll manage somehow.
It's 9:30 and 6 of the babies are asleep in bed. But Zoe's daughter Courtney is still up. The nannies who are observing are not impressed.
Zoe's expressed interest in going back to college, but as we can see, there doesn't seem to be any type of routine. And looking at the time, it's
9:30.
And Courtney's still awake. She hasn't gone to bed.
I usually put Courtney to bed about 9, but she's running a bit late tonight because I don't know, because I couldn't be bothered to get off my arse and come and run her a bath.
How long do babies sleep for?
7 till 7.
7 till 7. So if she's not going to bed till 9:30, 10 o'clock, she's not going to wake up till 9:30, 10 o'clock.
That's right.
Well, there's no college that's going to start at that time, is there?
Right. It's imperative that she gets herself into a routine with the baby.
10 o'clock, and Zoe finally puts Courtney down for the night.
Bye-bye. Night-night. Love you.
3 hours after she should have been asleep. Classes start tomorrow, and there's much to learn.
We must remember these are not young women, these are young children. And it was quite evident. Their skills left a lot to be desired, and it's so important that they get it right.
6 teenage mums from across the country have come here for 2 weeks of intensive parenting classes.
Hygiene has got to be the utmost when you've got young babies and toddlers crawling around the floor.
With resident childcare experts and invited specialists, the girls will be given lessons and support to make them better parents.
Okay, so tummy muscles nice and tight.
It's 7:30 and the girls' first full day.
This is what you're like now. You'll be fun later.
Nanny Susie's itching to make a start. First in her sights are 16-year-old Kerry and 14-year-old Chelsea.
How long does it take you to feed her when you feed her a bottle?
Not long, she gulps it down.
Do you not give her time to wait or put her in the chair for a little bit and then continue the feed? And Kerry, how long would you say it roughly takes you to feed her a bottle?
About 10-15 minutes.
10-15 minutes. Would it shock you if I was to tell you that it could take up to an hour to feed your baby?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That's why you're feeding the baby constantly, really, because the baby is not getting enough. It's very tiring when the baby's feeding, so sometimes the baby needs a rest. Maybe 10-15 minutes, then you'll find that you'll get the full feed down.
After observing the girls yesterday, the experts realise they have their work cut out over the next 2 weeks. The first full day will be made up of one-on-one sessions with therapist Rachel.
Who was Kerry before she had her baby?
I used to get drunk all the time.
What sort of routine is Holly in now?
And individual assessments with Susie and Melissa.
You do smoke and you're pregnant. How do you feel about that?
No one's ever actually said to me, you can't smoke, I'm not going to let you.
What smoking can actually do, it can affect their health. You know, there's so many implications of smoking, how it can affect a young child.
It's 10 o'clock and the teen mums are enjoying a mid-morning break. 15-year-old Zoe and baby Courtney have just made it downstairs.
You know, some breakfast. If I can find the microwave.
Last night, Zoe didn't get Courtney into bed till 10 p.m.
Anyone know where a microwave is?
Oh, you woke up?
Yeah. Is there a microwave in there?
There's probably one in the kitchen, isn't there?
Well, where is it and how the fuck do you work?
There is. Here, I'll try and figure it out.
How do you like it then? I don't know. Oh, this is a piss take.
She can't work the microwave and won't ask the nannies for help. So Zoe plumps for an alternative breakfast.
Want some biscuits? Have a biscuit and Mum will do your breakfast in a minute. Very unhealthy for you.
Amy is 16 and she has just given birth. Daughter Ellie was born 5 days ago.
Ellie, you're so naughty.
Ellie is her second child. She already has a 15-month-old Lizzie. It's a daunting challenge, and she's finding it really hard to cope with both girls.
Lizzie! Get off her! No! Don't sit on her, you plonk! Come here! She's not like Dolly, you can't sit on her head.
I expected having Lizzie to be all walks in the park and nice bottle feeds, and I'd have this really well-behaved baby. Basically, I expected I'd have a doll.
No. Come on. You can't not eat.
And at Rutland Tower, it's not getting any easier.
I'm gonna kill her. Why? I'm gonna fucking kill her. What's she done? She just won't behave. She's just come round. She's kicked Ellie. Ellie was lying on the floor. She's just gone up to her and kicked her. She's being a bitch.
Lizzie's behaviour at the moment, she just won't behave. She'll tantrum over anything, and it's got to the point even going shopping is hard work.
Has it become more so since the birth of Ellie? Has she increased?
It's become a lot worse since Ellie was born.
It's got worse because she now feels she has to share that attention and that affection with another child. You know, even as young as she is, she's got to realise that you've got another one to look after. I need for Lizzie to be took away for a short while I work with Amy and the baby and show her how to bond and interact. But I then also need to take her away with Lizzie and show her how to play with Lizzie. And then I need to fetch both children back to show her how it can work and they can cope together as a family, together as a unit.
Courtney, don't eat that, darling. That's yucky.
For all the teen mums, the next 2 weeks will mean going back to basics and learning the rudiments of childcare. A set routine is essential, and the nannies tackle Zoe head-on about bedtime.
What sort of routine have you had for Courtney?
I haven't really. She has a routine at bed and that's about it.
So what sort of time do you put her to bed?
About 9 o'clock.
And why 9 o'clock?
Because then it means she don't wake up till 9.
Well, see, that's the whole point of a routine. If you want to have time for yourself, you have to establish, do I want time for myself or am I lonely and bored and do I want to keep Courtney with me?
Yeah, but, like, she can't go to bed too early, can she? Because then she'll get up early.
That's right,
I
and get into a routine.
Up at 7 o'clock.
Well, you know, I get tired, but I've got to get on and do things. You know, that's life, Zoe. We all have to do that.
But did you know, right, statistically, or whatever that big long word is, teenagers need more sleep?
We've got to put that aside, that you need more sleep, because the situation has changed. You've had a baby. She is a tricky one to work with. She's not putting Courtney first. She's not thinking of the benefits or the development for Courtney.
Sometimes it just annoys me when other people try and tell me what to do with my baby when they don't know her, because it's like, you don't even fucking know her. I know what's best for her, so fuck off.
And I think that's a very selfish attitude to have. It's me, me, me.
Late afternoon, and it's tea time for the kids.
Yeah, open wide. Good girl.
Susie spotted a real problem with 17-year-old Ashley, who's pregnant. She keeps giving up when she's supposed to be feeding Tyler.
Have you tried, though, Ashley? Tried to feed him?
I feel like I'm going to puke just looking at that food.
If you cooked a meal and then you sat down to feed him and all of a sudden you felt nausea, you felt quite sick, what would you do? Take his dinner away and then give him toast? And he'd get nothing?
He usually eats his meals himself at home, so he won't let me feed him.
You are the mum. He is 10 months old. He doesn't tell you what to do. You take control of this child. Trust me.
He goes like that, he goes...
You've got to persevere. He only learns from you. So he's learned that when he plays up, you walk away. He's won. He's 10 months old.
That's just it, I don't walk away.
Whether you walk away, sit there, you're not doing it. You're not feeding him. This is what I'm saying.
He's got to learn to feed himself at some point anyway.
That's right. This is where he learns from you. And what I do with children when I'm teaching them to feed, I'll give him a little bowl with a spoon and I'll put a little bit of food in. He will learn through you.
I know.
So what? I've just told you. You said, right, how can he doesn't want the spoon? Have you showed him? Have you given him a little beaker with a bit of food?
And he just throws it away.
I'll show you what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Well, let me just show you, and then you can see. You say you know what I mean, let me show you.
Oh, forget it. I know what you mean. I hate it when people try and tell me things that I already know. Things that I'm doing are wrong just because they think they can do it a different way.
It just seems like she doesn't want to put the effort into it.
She doesn't.
I've had a really good day up until now.
I had to force the issue because she's quite happy to go off and have a cigarette. She doesn't really want to sit with him. It's pure laziness. She doesn't want to do it. And when you confront her on any issue, she's making an excuse after an excuse, and it's pathetic.
She can't help everyone, and that's what really annoys me. She seems to think she can. And no one can.
Some of the girls are already feeling the benefits of the expert's advice.
It's because when you put a baby in the bath, if the baby feels exposed, it feels insecure. That will calm her down, because that feels quite heavy and wet on her stomach.
So far here it's going pretty well. I'm feeling actually a bit homesick, because I do get that. But I'm quite enjoying it.
Even if she's going to sleep, that's fine, she's tired. But the fact is you want to get the food down
Yeah.
there. If you find she's really, really tired, and just a slight little vibration, she'll start, look, she's looking at me now, look.
I like it, it's really good, yeah. It's better than what I thought it was going to be as well. I'm glad they came.
But for others, there's still much to learn and change.
Tyler won't sleep right now. I'm tired. I need to go get something to eat. I've got a real headache now as well.
And I said, go fuck. My daughter ain't going to bed no earlier than 8 o'clock.
Downstairs, Zoe's complaining to her mum about the nanny's regime.
I think she's a bit dense, really. I'm being sensible. I want to come home now. I want to come home now.
And up in her bedroom, Amy's also on the phone to her boyfriend back home.
I'm missing you so much. I thought I'd be okay, but I'm not.
Thanks for watching Nurture. Make sure you subscribe for more modern parenting.